This is worldwide news. Headlines around the world.
President Zelensky has been visiting Ukrainian special forces near the city of Bakhmut as Kiev continues its counteroffensive. Mrs. Zelensky praised the troops' truly heroic performance and said he had traveled to their advanced positions to honor their strength. The city of Bakhmut has been the scene of some of the fiercest fighting of the war. The visit comes after a multi-story residential building and a security service building was struck by missiles in the central city of Dnipro. At least 9 people were injured and the strikes caused widespread damage. We can go live to Ukraine to our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse, who's in Kiev. James, clearly that strike just in the last sort of few hours and last night, and it was clearly damaging to morale. But President Zelensky is very upbeat in his message to his troops in Bakhmut. It feels like the focus is shifting eastwards in recent days. Let's start with that missile strike at the top of a residential block as well as a headquarters building belonging to Ukraine's security services. They were damaged, but thankfully no one was killed. 9 people were injured. It reminds you of the residential block that was struck earlier in the year where dozens of people lost their lives. The city of Dnipro is only 3 hours from the front line but has carried on as normal. The images of last night show Moscow's attitude to the tactic it's deploying in that it sees civilian casualties or areas themselves as acceptable collateral damage in its continued invasion. Or it is a deliberate targeting of a civilian area. We've heard from the Kremlin saying it was targeting a Ukrainian command post with what it called high-precision weapons. But nevertheless, it's a messy situation for people this morning. And as you say, President Zelensky has been making another visit to frontline positions. He was last in Bakhmut at the start of the year when his forces controlled the city, which is now pretty much in ruins. Now he has visited advanced positions on the outskirts, where he's thanked his troops. He hasn't gone into detail about their plans. He even posed with them in a petrol station, having a coffee, which is a Ukrainian pastime. You often see soldiers in petrol stations making long journeys back and forth from the front. There is a backdrop here where Ukraine is attempting its counteroffensive. There are small hard-fork games taking place. So this is the political effort alongside that, where he wants to be seen near the front to preserve that morale. James, here we were just seeing pictures now of President Zelensky meeting those soldiers. In terms of where the Ukrainians are with Bakhmut, you've been there. What is the position at the moment? So if you can imagine, it's like a moving line. At one point at the start of the year when I was there, Ukraine was still in control. It was clear that they wanted to hold on to the city for as long as possible. The claim from officers there was that they were inflicting so many Russian losses that they wanted to hold on. Ultimately though, Russia with its mass and with its equipment was able to take the city. Now Ukraine is in a more retreated position. But what it's been trying to do is probe around the outskirts to almost give Russia a taste of its own medicine in that area, where it's been trying to encircle Russian troops. The endeavor is there, but it hasn't materialized in a sizable reclaiming of territory. And you know, this was a place that started symbolic. It was clearly somewhere that Russia dearly wanted to take. It was a trophy that the Kremlin wanted. Now it has it. Ukraine has been quite focused on trying to take it back. But we have to remind ourselves we're talking about a once thriving city with tens of thousands of people that has been reduced to almost nothing. It is simply a battlefield where a lot of people have lost their lives. Okay, James, thank you very much for that analysis. James Waterhouse, there in Kiev, Ukrainian correspondent. And you can read more about the war in Ukraine on our website bbc.co.uk/news. Well, the South African president has praised Vladimir Putin at a summit between Russia and African nations. Speaking during the meeting with Putin, Cyril Ramaphosa thanked the Russian president for his support for African states and said the region's strategic relationship with Russia had benefited. It's wonderful to be working with a partner like you because I'm a hard worker too, so that's very good. And thank you very much for hosting the Russia-Africa Summit. We believe that it was successful, most successful. It was well organized, and the outcome is very, very good. The declaration was well negotiated and well crafted, and it represents the views that the various countries that were here put forward together with your views. And I believe that we've got a declaration that can take our relationship between Africa and Russia forward. That was a South African president, Cyril Ramaphosa, there.
Subscribe and stay tuned on Worldwide News Channel.